right,
Oh,
what's the
okay,
first?
good. Okay,
What's the
good.
first movie? 1917, S tier.
S tier, definitely.
That's
like,
actually one of my top movies ever.
in the last podcast, we were talking about that genre, like the best ever.
The endurance.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what another endurance movie is from a different perspective? Not war. Schindler's List. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it. I've seen.
You haven't seen Schindler's List?
Is that the one where they're all at the table?
That's the one about the guy who lives in Nazi Germany, but he's not a Nazi, and he helps Jewish people escape.
No, I've not seen
It's
it.
like a moral endurance movie.
Yeah, I
really
haven't
good.
seen that. Okay.
Another S tier. So you don't have to know. All right, what's next? We Were Soldiers.
So that's the Vietnam one.
I honestly don't remember it.
Yeah, I would say A tier.
Okay, why?
Low, like an A plus. Because it shows a lot of the it's first of all it's wellly cinematic. I don't know how do you say that? It's goodly.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah, it is. And it's Mel Gibson is the main character. I think this is the right movie, the one that I'm thinking of. And
it's not S tier because you can't remember exactly, so it must not have been perfect.
yeah, right.
All right, what's next? The Iron Giant. You're putting all the S tier first.
Yeah, I agree. S tier, great movie, greatest kids movie I've ever seen.
I think it's the best Western animation movie.
I would agree.
It might.
What
are you gonna say?
Out of movies, 100%. But I think.
Are you about to say Avatar?
Yeah, I think The Last Airbender is a Western.
Is it Western because it's
100% anime
ripped
style.
off from? They were okay. Western style is like. First of all, we haven't talked about Treasure Planet.
Okay. You just we'll put it at S tier, but I think Treasure Planet's better.
Why is Treasure Planet better?
Just the nostalgia. Like when I think about it, it's just unmatched.
Okay. We can disagree.
Okay, we disagree.
What's next? The Croods 2.
I didn't even watch that.
All right, well, I'll explain this because it was a very well-made movie, but it gets an F. And that's because my wife loved it. And she asked me to watch it because she wanted to know if I would allow our kids to watch it. And so I was watching it, evaluating it for the morality of the story that it tells. And while the comedy is the artistry of the comedy and the timing would be S tier. The animation it's pretty good. It's not my style. But the story completely dismantles the correct structure of the family. And by the end of the movie, every single man, like men of the household, becomes a like dude chilling in the hot tub with other dudes being a wimp while the women save the day and like kick the bad guy's butt.
Yeah.
So would have been S tier if they knew how to tell a good story. All right, next. Project Hail Mary.
I would say probably we'll talk about this in detail, this movie specifically. But probably very, very well made.
Yes.
But I don't know. I
We'll
can't
try
even,
and
we'll try and
rate
we'll break it down
by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
The Matrix. I'm gonna say B.
Really?
I think it was good. I think it was like historically it blew everyone out of the water.
With the special
CGI
effects,
and just like the scope of the whole thing.
Not a horrible message either. Like actually a decent cliche, I would say.
Yeah. Some people love it. I thought it was cool, but maybe when I saw it, I had already seen some cooler stuff.
Hmm.
But if it was, I think if I was like, if it was the first time I ever saw something like that, I would like it more.
Yeah, I
Where do you
think
put it?
uh I would put it A tier, low A, but more than a B definitely.
Okay.
Just because when I first watched that as a kid, I thought it like the karate training scenes
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the coolest thing ever. And then like the scene where they go to the armory universe dream thing, and they like the walls like come out of the floor or whatever, and there's just guns like for miles in the walls. I
Oh
thought that
yeah.
was cool. Uh,
CGI is good.
yeah.
Okay. Kung Fu Panda
Two.
2, almost S tier.
I can't remember. I don't remember number two.
Okay,
I
so
remember it being my favorite when I was little, but I don't.
the reason why I like Kung Fu Panda 2 is
Yeah.
because even though they struggle to say it,
Hmm.
if you watch it as if it's a movie about forgiveness, everything fits.
Oh, because
Because
the bird.
there's
Oh yeah.
there's a contrast of two characters
Yeah.
where the bird feels rejected and is angry, and he will not forgive no matter what, and it drives him on this insane path,
Hmm.
right? And Poe has suffered the most horrendous things that you can suffer as a child because of this. The peacock. Spoiler alert! I think we should have said that at the beginning of this episode because we're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
yeah. We're
movies.
talking about
We're
movies.
gonna spoil every movie we talk about. Okay, so the peacock kills his parents, right? And then throughout the movie, as he's gaining inner peace, he's learning to forgive the bad guy, basically, right? And then at the end, there's like my favorite line where I wish they would have mentioned some forgiveness, but he goes, uh, he's like asking him how have you gained inner peace after I did horrible things to you, and he says scars heal, and then the peacock goes, no, they don't. Wounds heal.
I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember
I
that.
thought that's pretty. All right, what's next? Prince of Egypt.
S tier.
S tier animation. Oh, Western animation. Okay, that might beat out the Iron Giant.
Yeah, I would say. Well, okay. Why would it? Why is it just animation?
Well, I guess I evaluate movies differently because there's so many ways that you can. So I split animation and film in my head because they're kind of different art forms, almost.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, the story's not original, so it's not. So like,
It's hard. It would have been
it's
hard
just
to
a
mess
story
it
from the
up.
Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So
But
it's not.
definitely S tier animation.
Yeah, not super impressive that they. Well, I think that everything was good.
Yeah.
Execution,
Yeah.
songs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sits at an S. Sword of the Stranger is the best Eastern animation movie ever of all time. Changed my mind.
I don't want to change your mind. I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
that's settled.
If if you'll only watch one anime in your entire life, it should be that one.
Yeah, it's also way less time commitment than most animes.
Yeah, it's just like
It's one movie.
yeah.
What were you saying? Oh, why? Why is it the best? Okay, so the whole movie, I'm not even gonna spoil it. They build up to the final fight scene, and I'm not gonna spoil it because most people probably haven't seen it. It's kind of a down low. So they build up to the end throughout the whole movie. There are insane fight scenes. It's beautiful. The story centers not on revenge, not on power, but on true meekness,
Right.
which is a virtue, right? It's this character with insane amounts of power, and how does he use it? And then it's contrasted with a character with insane amounts of power, and how does he use it?
Right.
And it's just like this insane, amazing story. And it affirms the dignity of human life.
And the soundtrack.
And the soundtrack, so good.
So good. All right.
Give us some bad movies. We can dote on Croods 2 more. What's the worst
we've
movie?
only had like 2 B tiers and then an F
Everything is
tier.
S. Well, it's because we
Everything
gave
else is
him our
S.
favorite movie list.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so that's our fault. But
right.
yeah, we don't because we're Catholic and our parents never showed us a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know what is not necessarily the best movie of all time, but 3 movies that would fit in like A or B tier? Did Dad ever take you through the Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, Three Amigos?
Magnificent Seven, Three Amigos, but not the Seven Samurai.
Okay, so in the 50s, these Japanese people made Seven Samurai, which is it's about 7 samurai who get hired by a village to protect them against bandits.
I
And
did
then
see The Last Samurai though.
that's a little bit different. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good one. That's
Yeah.
A or B.
Yeah.
And then in the 60s, the Westerners saw it and they made the American version, which is Magnificent Seven, and it pits 7 cowboys against a group of bandits.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. That one was funny
Right.
and good.
But did you watch the 2016 version or the?
The one with Chris Pratt.
Okay, so that's a remake.
Okay.
There's a one from the 60s that
Hmm.
I think was actually better. It was less cinematic, less like modern, trendy,
Yeah.
but it was really good.
Okay.
And so, so for our men's movie nights, the younger guys that are more dopamine
Yeah.
will struggle through Seven Samurai because it's like 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Ooh.
It's like an art piece, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's worth it to go through, watch Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, and then top it off with Three Amigos, which is one of the best comedies.
Three Amigos, yes. Yeah.
All 3 of those probably fit in A tier.
Yeah.
Okay. Any bad movies or how about Star Wars?
The first 3, the prequels or the sequels. Sequel trilogy.
Really quick, we can go through. Star
Okay.
Wars Episode 1, B.
B? Okay,
That's Jar
yeah.
Jar Binks.
B? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like
we're going
1 through-
chronological. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
True. Agree.
Episode 2.
B.
Episode 3.
A.
Yeah.
Because of Darth Vader.
Episode 4, 5, and 6 are going to be
A.
high A.
Yeah, high. And 6, I would say probably going to S.
5 or 6 could, but considering what we already have an S.
Okay, high A.
Yeah. And then
F. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just not really even entertaining at all.
Well,
At least for me.
it's fan fiction.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars as a series is good. I love what they did with it, considering that it was supposed to be for kids, and then they actually told some good stories in there. But because it's an anthology, it's hard to rate like the whole.
Yeah. There's definitely some really great episodes and a bunch of filler as well.
Yeah.
But
But
I would
individual episodes could be up there in cinema.
Yeah. Absolute cinema. You know this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Should we move into the actual episode?
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into anything, I just want to do a quick clarification. So like a movie is art, right? But like what makes it art? And so I have written down like, okay, what's the role of an artist, right?
Right.
And I think a good way to think about it is think of it like an artist versus an artist, and a philosopher is kind of like an engineer and a scientist. So scientists discover unknowns and engineers use knowns to solve problems. And it seems like philosophers will discover known metaphysics or known invisible truths, and then artists will show those invisible truths through an emotional appeal, right?
I love that analogy.
That's the main thing, is that an apologist will show those truths with logic, and an artist will show those truths through emotion, right?
Okay, so we have the like
And
branch
yeah,
spiritual truth, and then and material truth, and then scientist is that, and then spiritual truth turns into, and then there you have the philosopher discovering
right,
spiritual truth, and then that breaks down into an apologist for anything really, not even just a Catholic, but like if you're acting as an apologist, you're using logic. You're approaching from the logic side.
right,
And then if you're acting as an artist, you're approaching from the pathos side.
right.
Okay.
Okay, but now, but like, okay, so yeah, you can be a
But
group. Okay, what?
but the goal is still to get to the same thing.
Right, it's to
Right.
get to the same. It's to it's to show like to present truth, basically.
Right.
To
Well, truth, goodness, and I was listening to the Word on Fire. I was just doing research into art, and Bishop Barron was talking about evangelization and how a lot of the time Catholics want to approach from the apologetics side, and it goes truth, and then from the truth you recognize what's good, and then from the good
right,
you arrive at what's beautiful finally, right?
right,
And he was saying basically an alternative way at evangelization is to start with the beautiful, an artwork, a cathedral, a movie,
hmm,
and then just point out how good it is. And then once someone's comfortable with wow, this is beautiful and this is good, then you get to the underlying truth, and it's kind of an easier way uh, to reach a heart, basically.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. So then we're gonna talk about, okay. This is where we're gonna get into Project Hail Mary, because I think it's an excellent idea of truth that's presented, that's very well presented, but is it glorifying the wrong things or the right things?
Right.
So so should we just go into, okay, what's the difference between a good movie and a
Oh yeah, we
well-made
can.
movie? Or should we
So
just go into Project Hail Mary?
we can talk a little bit about artistry and story.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about? Or what would you say is the
Yeah.
difference between a
Well, okay, so I would say the difference between a good movie and a well-made movie is that a well-made movie gets the point. Like after you watch it, a well-made movie or well-made art, after you watch it, it's easy to believe what they want you to believe. And a good movie it's easy to believe the truth, right? It's easy to like it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think
Like,
I get it, yeah.
yeah,
So a well-made movie could be a bad movie
yeah,
because art's power to glorify something is not diminished when you glorify something bad.
right,
So you can put $1 billion and the best talent in the industry behind to make the artistry that presents a story, but you can only glorify what's in the story. And if the story is bad, like the Croods, just terrible, then you're putting all of that human force of creation and imagination and ingenuity behind a bad story
right,
that will mislead people.
right. So when we get into this Project Hail Mary example, uh, should I just break it down the movie so that we can get
Yeah.
into the decisions made?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, uh, Earth is gonna freeze to death because of the alien, the astrophage microbe that's eating the sun, right?
Yeah.
By the way, major spoilers. Turn it off. Like, just pause the podcast and go watch the movie if you care, because this is basically gonna be the entire show, the entire movie.
Yeah.
So then there's a all the governments in the world decide that, okay, and there's no way to stop this alien. Like, they don't know of a way, but they see that there's uh, a system that should be infected because it's right in the middle of all of these systems that are, but it's not. It's the sun. The sun isn't in that system, isn't being eaten. It's not diminishing. So they're like, okay, we need to figure out like why it's not. So all the governments in the world basically choose this one woman from like some place in Scandinavia. I forgot. Her name's Eva Strat, and she is basically now she's like the arbiter of the world. She's like she has ultimate authority and unlimited like the resources of the whole world basically. And if she could literally just tell them to kill somebody, and everybody would have to listen to her, basically. And then so she finds this school teacher guy who's a school teacher.
Chris Pratt.
No, it's
Wait,
it's Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
So his name's Ryland Grace in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And then so she chooses him because he's smart, because he wrote some stuff that looks smart. And she gives him some sample astrophage things. And then he figures out how they breed, basically. I think.
Yeah. So he figures out some stuff about them.
Yeah. So she kidnaps him, puts him in a lab. He figures out some stuff about them. Then she gives him some, and then he figures out how they breed. Then she takes him to the high council of smart people somewhere in the world. And then
I think they're on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, they're on an aircraft carrier. And then they basically figure out this plan. The plan is that they don't have enough time, really, to do anything else except use all their resources to build a spaceship using the astrophage as fuel to fly to the system that is not infected and figure out why they're able to fight off, or why the astrophage don't want to go there. So they have 3 astronauts, and it's only a one-way trip. So everybody who goes on the trip is going to die, and they need a pilot, somebody else like a captain or something, and a scientist.
Right.
Long story short, they have everything that they need right before it launches. The scientist guy dies. Strat says, "Well, we need somebody to fill the scientist's shoes. I choose you." She chose Ryland Grace, and Grace is like, "I don't want to go. That's not for me."
Because he's gonna die.
Because he doesn't want to die alone in a spaceship or with the other people in a spaceship. And so she just was like, well, it's kind of too bad. And they're friends, but now she betrays him and basically puts him under with a sleep serum, and he wakes up.
She doesn't, but she
tells
her fingers, and
she
a
tells
bunch of
right. She tells her
men come around the corner.
Yeah,
grab him, put him in the spaceship.
Yes, there's also a book, and it's basically the same. But we're talking about the movie,
right?
Yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah, he wakes up on the ship. Years later, he's like 11 million light years away, or something like that. 11 light years away, or something like that.
Right.
Away from Earth. And he woke up, and now he's at this solar system, and now he has to figure out. He like remembers what happened. Now he's trying to figure out. He's like, well, I'm here, so now I have to figure out how to save Earth. Then he meets an alien friend whose planet is facing the same issue. They work together. They figure out why. The alien friend says that he has enough fuel to share, and so that Ryland Grace can go home. They part ways, but then he realizes that there's some issue with his friend's ship. So now he can choose, okay, go back and save my friend, or go to Earth and go home, and I can live back on Earth. And he decides to go help save his friend, whether or not he might die now, because he's using the fuel that his friend gave him to go save his friend now instead of going home.
Right.
Then he saves his friend. They go back to his friend's planet, and they're able to build him a little dome where it's like earthly, and he's now a science teacher for his alien friend, the race. They're called the Iridians.
Right.
And when he sends the probes, because that's how they would send the information back to Earth, through probes, back to Earth, so that they know how to stop the astrophage.
Yeah.
When he sends the message, he's like, in his message, he's like, well, I don't know if he says like, it looks like you're right, but he's like content with everything that happened now.
Right.
And he goes and saves his friend.
Right.
So the moral question is, okay, did the movie make it look like Strat's decision was good because it was Earth's last chance, or was it immoral anyway, or was it justified because everybody on Earth would die if she didn't send Ryland? Or like, what's the deal, right?
Right. So the key issue, the thing that's being debated, is not whether or not Ryan Gosling's character was heroic, because he ended up being heroic. It's like that Strat is given all this power by the governments that she's working with,
Right.
and then violates his human dignity and free will by sending him on this mission against his will, which is immoral.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a debate about whether or not.
It's like, are the means justified by the end, or
Well, the means don't justify the end.
right?
That, as far as I know, that's Catholic teaching.
Right.
But the rest of the movie, like the majority of the movie, is great stuff.
Yeah.
Like heroism and virtue, and it's well made. So does that one issue with the movie condemn the rest of the movie? Does it end up in F tier? Is it
Right.
like, does it even out? Is it
So yeah, so that is, I think what will determine that is if Strat's decision is portrayed as the right choice to make, or it was an evil that Ryland, like it was an evil that happened to him.
Yeah.
But he chose to make the best of his scenario and chose to do the right thing in the end when he was given basically like another chance, even though it was an evil done to him.
Right.
Right. It was like, because you could look at it like a great evil was done, but what happens in real life is, yeah, evils happen all the time, but God always can always make something even better come from.
Right.
But so what do you think?
I think when you evaluate a movie, sometimes you have to. There are a lot of movies that we say are good movies that like Catholics enjoy. Like one of the best series ever of all time is Cowboy Bebop,
I agree.
right? But it's a series with like 90% of the female characters are over sexualized, right?
Yeah.
Which is, earlier we were saying that what makes a movie bad is if it's misleading. So what's the line? Is there a line for an amount of bad? Does a movie have to have everything right in order for it to be a good movie?
Right.
I
Well,
yeah.
I also want to point out like there's in movies that there's got to be like a real aspect to them, right? So
Yeah.
so like at a certain point, like there's going to be movies that are great but not appealing to adults because they don't have all this evil stuff in it, kind of. But how do you like? What do you think about that? Because I don't think every show can be like Tolkien, where it's like the greatest movie ever, and there's not even any like it's literally just like I would say one of the most perfect works of art because of there's no sex in it.
Right.
There's none of that. It's just all
Right.
um
I,
what do you think?
so if a movie exists in a vacuum, you can evaluate it like The Lord of the Rings is timeless. It will always be a great story, a great movie. But I think works of art should also be evaluated in the context of the culture and the role that they play in that culture. And I actually don't think that you can fit every movie on a tier list because something like um, something like Cowboy Bebop is a product of the people in the culture who made it,
Mhm.
and it reflects the disordered elements of sexuality and it like I wouldn't recommend anyone with a porn addiction watch uh Cowboy Bebop because it's gonna show you
Right.
stuff every episode, right?
Right.
That might be an occasion for sin. Um, but then it also presents it wasn't made by Catholics, obviously, it was made by
Yeah.
just regular people in the world. And so it presents these themes that are very Catholic of redemption and there's like a Christ uh and the church, Christ fighting for his church dynamic going on and self-sacrifice and nobility and excellence and all these things that are also being presented that are very valuable. And so I think Cowboy Bebop, just the fact that it's so many people's favorite anime, that it's going into kind of the dark places and it's touching those things and shedding some light there. And so I think it plays a good role in society. I think it could have been better if the sexual uh if what it was dressing if the sexual elements were there to address something, right? Or else omitted, and then it would be less distracting. But I don't think that that it played a bad role in the time that it was in.
The sexualization or like
I think that
does
that
those scenes
well,
do you think that they contributed in a positive way to the story, or do
no.
you think
So
no?
I
So you
don't
think it could have been 10 times better without him, or
I think that if it was done differently, it would be better. But so what I'm saying is there are bad elements of Cowboy Bebop that should not be in there, and then there are good elements that it's great that they were in there. But the good elements don't redeem the bad, and the bad elements don't uh, disqualify the good.
Hmm.
It's just that when you watch it, because it's an imperfect work of art, because it has evil in it, when you watch it, just like when you talk to a person, a human being with that has both good and evil in them, you have to be discerning. And if you're not discerning, you shouldn't watch it. But if you have the wisdom and the discernment to approach it and to parse through what's good and what's bad, then it's either harmless or even great if you can draw something from it.
right?
It's because the art is just a reflection of the people who made it. So I wouldn't go talk to some random guy on the street and then take everything that he says as truth. I would evaluate him as in our relationship as I talk to him and then start to realize what, like, his character and what to actually affirm and uh, what to parse through, what to discern is not good. So in Project Hail Mary, there's two ways to evaluate it. One is what is good about it and what is bad about it. And then if you can discern those things and not be duped by it, let it glorify the good. And then whatever bad that it glorifies, you can discard.
Right.
Right? Uh, a lie is not a threat to truth when you know the whole truth.
Right.
If you're missing parts of the truth, and then you're exposing yourself to lies, and you're not able to discern what's a lie and what's not, you're putting yourself in danger.
Right.
So,
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say the main thing that I've seen from that, uh, and this was kind of like on it like the main argument is like that I've heard against it. It's like it's a bad movie because it's basically communist propaganda where it's
Right.
like
The government
the
is
government knows what's best for the
right,
world and
right,
for you,
right,
and the government, and if you to go against the government, then they'll just tell you to do it anyway, and then everything will work out in the end because they're right.
right.
Uh, and I just don't see how that is really present. It in the movie. In the
So
movie, he says like you're like she says Eva Strat when she's making when she's revealing to him that she's about to betray him. Basically,
yeah,
she's like, you might think this is not a word for word, but this is basically what she says. She says, you might think that I'm betraying you, but I'm actually just believing in you.
yeah,
And he says, well, basically, like, actually, just looks like you're betraying me because in like the Ryan Gosling way,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like funny.
yeah.
Um, and so I think that when she says that and it works out, that's when I could kind of see that point of view is where like,
I think the main, I think maybe you're about to say this, but like at the end, Ryan Gosling doesn't expound much more in his video to her.
right,
He says you were right
right,
about believing in him,
mm-hmm,
right? Like essentially saying you were right so it could be taken, he didn't specify, so it could be saying you were right that I had what it takes to save humanity, or it could be you were right to send me.
I just thought of something. So, uh, there's also a big part like that I think is overlooked, and that's when he's talking to the astronauts, and he's like, "I don't know how you guys do this." Like the three astronauts, they're gonna go, uh, they're giving up their lives to
Yeah,
save the world, and he's like,
yeah,
"I don't know how you do this. Like I'm just not built for. Like it's not my DNA." And then
right,
the captain goes, "Oh, it's not a DNA thing. It's just once you have somebody to die for, something to die for, then it's easy." Um, and so maybe he's saying, I don't know, but he's talking to Eva Strat in the video,
yeah,
and that's when he says, he says you're right, but it's not clear what he's saying you're right to. I think.
yeah. I think that I kind of remember there being some scenes where they're also kind of making light of the fact that I mean, I totally understand uh that humor is like a great way to cope with some horrendous stuff. But I think there's also a scene that may have been off-putting to some people where they were just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go die," like, and they were just like laughing about it. But
Yeah,
uh,
I think I know what you're talking about,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's yeah.
M-
Um,
Which is not necessarily the best joke to make. Two, so there's another way to evaluate a movie, which is, like I said, how what role it plays in the culture, in the context of the culture at the time. So if if a bunch of movies are coming out, because there's a difference between the events in a movie at one time and the events that start to get the ideas that start to get echoed throughout the movies of a culture. So if movies come out now after Project Hail Mary, and they're repeating that theme,
Which theme?
the theme of do what the government tells you. If they violate your rights, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I believe that will lead to a absolutely terrifying, if that becomes a cultural movement, like the destruction of the family and like the destruction of the idea of gender, right? That can be absolutely harmful, right? In which case, it's like, is it a sin to like kick a brick? Well, it might not be good for your toes, but it's not like necessarily that bad to just kick a brick out
Right.
of anger. But is it a sin to kick a brick repetitively and then it's also a wobbly brick that's holding up a tower and at the top is a baby?
Yeah.
Right? It's like that one action might in and of itself be just a regular mistake of like, oh, whoops, accidentally portrayed violation of rights as okay in this
Yeah.
movie. But if it becomes a pattern, that's bad,
Yeah.
right? It's like revenge has been portrayed so easily and so many times in our culture that people just assume that it's good and fine. Even Catholics don't even that I've talked to, when you
Mm-hmm.
start pointing out how much revenge is in movies, they like start to be like, "Oh wow, you're right."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
and
that's a big.
so many movies that we just all watch and enjoy as a culture, and it's like half of them or a good chunk of them are revenge stories.
Yeah.
So, is Project Hail Mary the
I,
best?
I would say, I would say in terms of given the capability of like studios nowadays, like because at the time of this podcast, it's like brand new. It came out like a month ago, like a couple months ago.
Right.
Uh, I would say they definitely, with the cinematography and the CGI and everything, it blows out of the water
Oh yeah, the
like
artistry
anything before
is
it.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of the message, it's a little bit confusing, but it is like they're not necessarily glorifying anything except it is apparent that like
What do they?
being at least being selfless
Yeah.
and turns out to be a good thing.
Right.
Uh, but then after that, it gets super complicated, and so I wouldn't put it as F tier. I would not put it as bad message. I would put it as
I think that
just apparent, that like truths that just things that happen that technically could happen, and then there's not like really an
it's
opinion on them.
it's not super profound. It's like a buddy story.
Yeah,
The man and the alien become
and it's
friends.
funny, and it's funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Um, I think it remains to be seen whether or
yeah.
not the flaws of the movie.
Somebody smarter than
You
us
know,
can do a review.
by your fruits they will know them, or
Yeah.
their fruits someone will know them.
Well, it is Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, so I think it's a definitely could be good movement towards some better quality,
Mm-hmm.
but not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
So, last question.
Oh, there's more. So,
One more.
yeah.
Well, it's kind of already answered. It's like, despite evils, like, where do you draw the line between a movie that's good to watch and has truths, but then it has like sex scenes and and things like that, where it's just, where do you draw the line? Like, this movie's not worth watching. This movie is worth watching.
It depends on the person
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
the maturity and why you're watching it.
Hmm.
For your family, for my family, until my kids are an age where I can have an intelligent, rational conversation about what exactly is going on, there's no point in showing anything disordered in a movie
Right.
that's going to glorify it, right? Afterwards, you can't like separate them completely from the culture. You have to train your kids to use their language to dissect and parse through what's good and what's bad so that
Yeah.
they can live in a culture. Because if you just like stopped kids from ever being exposed to any kind of disorder in movies, then they're not going to know what to do when as soon as they get you know, on
Right.
social media or anywhere else in the culture. So you
Right.
have to prepare them for it. So I'm absolutely going to show my kids movies that are mixed
Yeah.
and have good elements and bad elements. And you really don't need to go any further than that. You
Hmm.
don't need to show them like horrible, horrible movies and then just be like, "Wow, what do you think of this movie?"
Yeah.
I think it was the whole thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take Passion of the Christ into example, right?
Okay.
It's very, very graphic.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's unnecessarily graphic, or do you think it
Well,
so there are elements where, cuz like, you wouldn't show your 5-year-old kid,
right.
or I don't know, would you?
Well, not because it's disordered, but because they wouldn't understand it
Right.
and they don't have the capacity to.
Okay.
But violence itself uh isn't disordered when it's the fact that there is destruction and evil is obviously evil,
Yeah.
but God a is a is violent. The Old Testament shows.
Yeah.
So violence is an action that results in destruction of something,
Hmm.
right? There are a lot of different kinds of violence. There's emotional, psychological, physical, right? The what Christ suffers is physical, spiritual violence. But he in his passion, he does violence to the devil's kingdom. He destroys it, right? He rips earth from his hands. That's a form of violence,
Yeah.
right? So violence of it by itself is not. And men, we do violence to ourselves, right? In mortification and training
Right.
and discipline. Discipline is a form of violence.
Right.
So I don't think that the passion that violence is disordered.
Okay. So, last it's actually just kind of like a part 2. It's like that was the setup. It's
Okay.
like, okay,
All
so
right.
then there are topics that there are elements that are like that can be shown in a bad way or a good way.
Yeah.
So then what about things like sex? Is there any way where is there, I don't think there is, but do you think there's like a practical use for a scene like that versus like a
No,
scene where,
because because there's no practical use
right?
to telling your friend about the relationship between you and your wife.
But
Right? Like,
violence is
it plays no violence can play good public roles.
right. But
There's
yeah,
no there's nothing about sex that needs to play out anywhere but in private within the
yeah,
sanctity of marriage, right?
yeah,
And yet one of my high school drama teachers told me basically this is not her direct quote, but you can show everything that you would need to show illustrate in a sex scene with a dance scene.
right.
Just have the characters dance together.
Yeah. So I was setting that up because just to like just in case it was a question that was like,
Oh yeah.
okay, when Catholic artists make this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because there are so many good movies that have this stuff, we need to make sure that when we make art, we're putting things in our art that are always good.
Yeah.
And not things that
So we can't be afraid. This is from Father Dale. You can't be afraid to go into the dark places,
right.
right? We have to, as Catholic artists, we have to enter into what is dark, right? But not feed it. And then present people. So right now, the world has the same inclinations as, we still want to see the gore and the destruction, and we have a fascination with evil, right? It's not wrong to present a movie in a way that triggers somebody's curiosity and then give them something better. So you can have a movie that contains dark elements, right? There's and then and present that to somebody, and because and if they are trained to go after evil, if they do still are like giving into that inclination, you're basically meeting them there and then showing them here's a better way.